Okay, let me get everything up and running. Still having to jury rig it with the phone, so apologies for that, but it just kind of is what it is. So, get this. Can I see comments showing up? Yes, there it is! Ha-ha! Victory. So, I suppose this, as a starting point, I'll just point out anyone who watched the video that went up today, which was the Bird Box review, you got to see the debut of the new camera that I get to thank, you know, anybody watching, honestly, because every view helps. But in addition to that, the Patreon supporters were a big part of that. So I'm really happy with how that came out, and it will hopefully get even better as I get more familiar with the camera and the ins and outs of sort of working with it, as opposed to the old camcorder I was used to. That said, there are going to be a handful of old of videos that I shot on the old camera that'll keep popping up over the next few weeks, maybe even a month, depending on how much I have to shift my schedule of planned videos around. So, yeah. There, occasionally you'll be stuck with the old stuff, but yeah, so that's very cool. That went well. Let's see how we're doing. Hufflepuff from Reno asking if you saw the Far From Home trailer. I have. I need to shoot a video tonight on that. That's probably not going to go up till Thursday, because tomorrow is going to be the next overdue Doctor Who review. So, yeah, my thoughts on the Spider-Man trailer, that's Thursday, is the plan right now. Plans always shift. That is my life. Let's see what else. Do you prefer Nathaniel or Vera during the live streams? I tend to go with Nathaniel because I don't always assume that everybody in the live stream sort of knows the deal of what's going on there. And it's the name that I use in the ending credits for this channel anyway, so I figure it makes things simpler and cleaner. I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me either way, but, you know, for the sake of not confusing everybody else, that's makes a little more sense, but yeah, go with your gut. It's all good. I'm not even gonna deal with that one. Oh, in reflection to the trailer, did you like it? I liked it, but I have notes, as is typical of me. So you'll find out what those are come Thursday. So is this kind of out of focus? Let me see if I can get this sorted out any better. I mean, I don't know if it's out of focus or it's just the fact that it's low res. Because, like I said, I'm having to do the video component off my phone because I haven't figured out how to get my stupid webcam, which is actually probably not any better quality than this, to actually be recognized by YouTube. I don't know. Adored your review of Earthshock recently. That was fun to revisit. I'm enjoying revisiting some of the classic Who stuff that I've already seen, but maybe didn't think so much of, because I feel like I can take in that kind of stuff a little bit better now. Do you think you would do a Doctor Who series 10 episodes ranked? I don't know if I'll, I mean, I'm not going to say never. It's not on my plan to do a ranking of the episodes within each series for the stuff already aired. I mean, part of the reason that I did it for Series 11 was because since it was only 10 episodes long, it very much lent itself to doing that. I don't know, maybe. I have to think about that. Any chance of you joining IWVT cast? The Improvised Weapons Podcast. Yeah, okay, look, well, first of all, scheduling would be a pain in the butt because they're about a hour 45, 2-hour drive from where I am, depending on the weather. And they'd also have to ask me on, which I'd love to, but I mean, like, they've never had guests on, not that I can recall at any rate. I mean, I'd be game, absolutely. That's one of my favorite podcasts, and I love the heck out of it. Do you think Doctor Who will ever do like a big budget movie? I really don't. I don't want them to. I just don't. I feel like the show is already. I don't feel like there's anything more to get out of doing it as a movie except possibly better special effects. I mean, the stories and everything else is already on as big a scale as I want it to be, and I don't feel like throwing more money at it is going to yield an inherently better product. So no, I don't really have much interest in that. Plans on doing a top 10 of your favorite Disney films. I have a number of Disney related stuff that I want to do. That might be in the pipeline at some point. But it's tough because I've actually been liking a fair amount of Disney's relatively recent output. I really liked Zootopia. I loved the first Wreck-It Ralph. I liked Moana a heck of a lot. So that's the kind of thing that would, if they're out, unless their output nosedives, then it's the kind of thing that would be out of date very quickly, which is always kind of frustrating for me. Rewatching season 10 now, Capaldi has moved to number 2 for me behind Pertwee. I really did like Capaldi, and I love Capaldi in series 10. And it's kind of nice, seeing that maybe there's a few other people out there who are seeing what I saw in it. Would you rank the first episodes of each Doctor and the last in 2 videos? I kind of am planning to do that. Because I am at some point going to do, well, I'm going to try a ranking of the regenerations kind of themselves, and then probably separate from that, do a ranking of the regeneration stories, and then a ranking of first adventures of each Doctor. So all that's on the docket. When it's going to happen, months. Months and months and months. The amount of ideas that I have and stuff that I've written down and stuff that I want to do is really troublingly long at this point. Sam Catalina, love your channel. Won't be able to continue live, but I look forward to watching the rest when I find Wi-Fi. Best of luck. Thank you, Sam. I hope you find Wi-Fi soon and are able to rejoin us. Have you ever watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island? I have not. I've only, like, Scooby-Doo for me was one of those old cartoons that was on sometimes on TV. I've seen a little bit of, what was it, What's New Scooby-Doo, which I dug. My daughter was into that for a little bit. I actually really liked the Scooby-Doo Batman Brave and the Bold thing, but I've never like done a serious dive into the Scooby-Doo movies or anything like that. I mean, it's a fun thing, and it's always just kind of been there, but not something I've ever like really gotten into. And at this point, I'm a little old for it, but what can you do? I have an idea for a Doctor Who list. You don't have to do it, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. Worst second parts of Doctor Who 2-parters. That, maybe not in those exact words, but I think there is somewhere to go with the idea of, really just failing to stick the landing. Really bad conclusions to great setups. I'll think on that. There's potential. There's potential there. Watching you while I knit season 18 Tom Baker scarf, the purple and red one. Well, Sir Jedi, best of luck to you. My goodness. And Catherine Hall knitted a Tom Baker scarf. Apparently, it's a fairly popular pastime, it would appear. Oh, and I'll say this again now, folks. If I miss your question and I start answering ones that appear after yours, feel free to ask it again. First few times I did this, I tried scrolling back up and keeping up, and like that was kind of a nightmare, and it was stressful. Have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody yet? No, I have not. I need to, and I do need to wait for some form of disc, whether I'm just going to rent it or what I'm going to do. I don't know, but I do want to see that, and Liz wants to see it too, so we'll probably end up seeing that together however I get around to it. Will you review Moffat's new show? That's the Dracula one, right? I mean, probably. I'm curious what he and Gatiss are going to do with it. Worst movie sequel. Okay, that's actually already been shot. I had Ryan Daly on for that. That's probably not going to go up until next month, though. But that, funnily enough, that you asked that one. Let's see. Kieran Kipling, what season of Red Dwarf are you on, and have you seen the U.S. pilot? Love your channel. I have seen all the way through Red Dwarf 10, I believe. And I've also seen Back to Earth, which I guess is counted as Series 9? I'm not sure. I can't remember now if it is. And I actually have seen the US pilot. It's a special kind of bad. Although, if for any Red Dwarf fans, I do actually really recommend checking out the US pilot. Not because it's any good, but because all the things it gets wrong, it makes you appreciate the original all that much more, because you're like, wow, they really nailed these elements that apparently it's very easy to get wrong and have fall apart. So if you are a Red Dwarf fan, I would recommend tracking that down. I think you can find it uploaded various places. I think I watched it on YouTube back in the day. I don't know if that's still up there anywhere. If you ran into the TARDIS, which Doctor do you wish would be inside? I mean, probably 11. I have a feeling I get along with him best. Upcoming Ryan, yay, yes. I'll let him know that people are actually excited for him to show up. Can you rank Barbara's haircuts? I'm assuming that's from Gotham. Oh boy, she has had some real. I like her hair right now, actually. Where did you get that wonderful hat? This one came from Venice Beach in California. I've got another one that came from London. When will Liz be on next? I don't know a date for the next time I'm going to have Liz on. We are planning, once Gotham finishes up, to do a joint top 10 Gotham characters. So a bit like when we did Buffy. So we're looking forward to that. I'm not sure when if I'll have her on to do anything prior to that. It's not always easy to plan these things. See, future video recommendation, multi-doctor companions and which doctor they pair better with. Maybe? I mean, there aren't as many of them as you'd think. Or at least I don't know that many off the top of my head, and there's probably a few back in Classic Era that I don't know well, and so the level of research I'd have to do, that's slightly intimidating, not gonna lie. Any thoughts on Blake 7 or The Prisoner? Blake 7 I know of, have never seen. The Prisoner I have seen, and man, it's weird. It's weird in a way that's hard for me to recommend it or know who to recommend it to. I know there are certainly people out there who would dig the heck out of it. Avoid the American remake, though. There was like one really good like dialogue exchange in it. Other than that, I forgot almost the entire thing. And the original Prisoner, while very strange and hard to understand, it's not forgettable. Have you ever met any of the doctors? I have not. I've been to a couple. I think last time I was at Boston Comic-Con, Matt Smith was there. But I'm very reluctant to throw the kind of money that you need to throw at these things to actually get the chance to meet any of these people. It brings a hefty price tag, and so far I've done it once to meet Tim Curry. Worth every penny, but like, as big as my fandom for things like Doctor Who are, it's hard for me to justify the expense. After Whittaker, do you think they'll go for another woman or man, or perhaps the first black Doctor? Well, I mean, whether or not they'll go for someone of a different race, I don't know. Whether or not they will or should go for a man or a woman after Whittaker, I've actually already shot a video on that. That'll go up in a couple of weeks. I can't remember my docket off the top of my head, but I had very conflicted feelings about that. How are you? I'm doing quite well. Thank you. More people asking for the thoughts on the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. Official thoughts will be out on Thursday. Generally positive with some notes. Do you have any of you folks talking about farts seen Curse of the Fatal Death? Okay, I've apparently missed an entire fart conversation somehow in trying to pick out the questions. Oh my goodness. Given the way that things devolved last time, I don't know if it's better or worse that it seems to be fart focused this time around. Do you think Dark Phoenix will be better than you expect? Well, no, but I guess the thing is, strictly speaking, it won't be hard for it to be better than I expect, because I expect a complete and utter train wreck of a movie. So That's a relatively low bar to clear. I don't think it's going to clear it, though. Didn't know you streamed. Yes, trying to do it weekly now on Tuesdays, alternating between 7 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time start times. Really hard to keep track of, I know, but I'm trying to get with it and keep a schedule with it, and to see if I can do that, because I'm trying to do I'm just trying to do more. I'm trying to do more with the channel, build it, connect with you guys. And see how far that I can take this. Are you excited for Jeremiah on Gotham? Yes, but with a hint of bitterness, because so far I like Jerome better. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what it's like when he comes back. Do you own any pets? Not currently. My daughter has a hamster. That's about all that I've got going on. Did you see the new Watership Down? I still haven't seen the original Watership Down. Or read the book. It's one of those things that's like seminal to some people's childhoods that just never entered into mine. And I have friends who love the heck out of that thing. But yeah. Super Nerd asked, how would you react if you won a Nobel Prize? With extreme confusion. Like, my first question to the Nobel Committee would be, how'd you even get my name? Yeah, that's probably the primary thing that you get from me. Fart of the Daleks. Oh, it was inevitable. Somebody was going to start in with that. Okay, going to skip that. What is your favorite Cybermen design? I mean, for creep factor, I'm partial to the original Mondasian Cybermen design, which we got to see again in World Enough in Time. So I'm partial to that one. Anything where you can still get a hint of the human still in there. I mentioned that in my Earthshock review, that I kind of like where the jaw is a little see-through and you can see the human jaw and mouth moving behind it. It's a reminder, that they were once human. So I do kind of appreciate that. Vanessa Ramos, keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Vanessa. I shall endeavor to do so. Are you having high hopes for the Dune movie? My hopes will go genuinely high when I get a trailer. Right now, I'm nervously hopeful, because Denis Villeneuve's movies are really good and they look great, but Dune is tough. Trying to tackle Dune is a big endeavor. So I want to see what he does with it, but I don't have... but it's also like, boy, this is the kind of thing that could really just fail no matter who does it. Bit like Don Quixote in that way, I suppose. Russell T. Davies, Cybermen were a bit bland. Yeah, Spank Me Santa, the name of that person said that. Wow, wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, I kind of agree. They were a bit too close to just flat out robots. It was the kind of design that was easy to forget that there was a human being in there, in terms of both the design and the characterization. I mean, they got the job done. That was my introduction to the Cybermen. I liked them well enough, but I came to like them much better once I dipped into Classic a bit more. And certainly after having gotten into Big Finish and experiencing spare parts, that doesn't hurt either. Should Season 12 have recurring monsters, and how many do you want to see? I'm assuming by recurring you mean brought back from previous, as opposed to like reappearing over the course of that series. Like no more than 2. Personally, like I want to be careful how I say this, because like I had kind of called for the show not to lean on old monsters as much, and Series 11 didn't. That didn't automatically make Series 11 better. There were other issues going on, but I still kind of stick by that as a thing, though, that I kind of prefer, not overuse of that. Have you seen Castle Rock? I have not. I actually forgot that was a thing. It's on Hulu, I think, which I don't have. Have you seen Moon, Guardian of the Moon on Netflix. No, but I'm slightly intrigued by the title. Have you seen Crazy Rich Asians? I did. Liz and I saw that at a drive-in. It was nice. It was sweet. It was fine. I mean, it's romantic comedy. It's not really my genre. But no, I enjoyed it well enough. Yeah, had fun with it. Jason Black, hey buddy, love your videos. As you're already doing overdue reviews for Doctor Who, will you do Torchwood or Sarah Jane Adventures? I've been asked that intermittently, usually on the actual overdue Who reviews. Maybe. Like, I've got a couple of options of what to do once I finish up overdue Who. I mean, the first thing I'd say, I definitely do not plan to have that running in conjunction with the overdue Who, because that's, like, I just feel that that's maybe too much Doctor Who content. Not that I don't think you guys like the Doctor Who stuff. I know that's how most people found me, but I don't want to burn myself out on Doctor Who. That's one thing. The other is, and the reason I'm a little bit reluctant to do that is I'm not the biggest fan of Torchwood or Sarah Jane Adventures, and I'm not exactly chomping at the bit to revisit them. So that doesn't help. But yeah, again, eventually, depending on how long I end up doing this, ideally forever, you know, everything, I might circle around to everything sooner or later. I'm just wondering, how do you feel about the whole Comic Gate situation? Because I really don't want to comment on that, and mainly just because I came to this realization, you know, trying to watch a video talking about, I think it was Doctor Who fandom, and the point of view that the video had was one that for the most part I agreed with, but I still couldn't finish the video just because, like, I don't want to talk about fandoms anymore. Like, I still want to enjoy the things I enjoy. I'm still going to continue to be a fan of the things that I like, and I still want to talk about it. I still want to hear your guys' thoughts about it, but I kind of don't want to talk or pontificate or speculate on movements within fandoms as a collective anymore. I found it draining and demoralizing because of what went on with the Star Wars fandom and what has happened more recently with Doctor Who fandom and what has been going on in gaming and now comics for a while. And I just kind of don't want to dive into it. It's depressing to me. Are you interested more in Lego Movie 2 or How to Train Your Dragon 3? How to Train Your Dragon 3. Because that's got 2 awesome movies behind it. Lego Movie has 1, so there's a stronger track record for How to Train Your Dragon 3. I'm looking forward to both. Well, I also like How to Train Your Dragon a little bit more than the Lego Movie, but looking forward to both. Thoughts on keeping Daredevil going? I really felt like Season 3 was a good place to stop. It wrapped up the Kingpin stuff. I felt like that was a perfectly workable finishing point. I said that at the time that I reviewed it, even before the cancellation came down, and I stand by that. I love Chris Pratt a lot. Well, he's a sweet enough guy. I know you had a video in the past, but now, what one-time monsters would you like to see again with Jodie Whittaker? Oh, well, I mean, I will always stump for Anthony Stewart Head coming back as Mr. Finch again against any Doctor. Would have been awesome if they brought him back for Capaldi, though. But other than that, I don't know. See, the thing is, most of the really great one-time villains, I don't think should come back at all. Like, I don't think the Vashta Nerada should come back. I really don't think the Midnight Entity should come back. I just think you get diminishing returns on them. Best movie soundtrack. Did a video on that a couple weeks back. Go check it out. I'm wondering, have you seen the Reign of the Supermen animated movie yet? I haven't yet. I need to. No, there were no theaters around, because I know some theaters did like a double thing with the Death of Superman and then Reign of the Supermen. No theater near me was doing that, so I haven't yet, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it. I'm both excited and nervous about that one. How close are we to that 10% of patrons before this can be your living? Also, if you die and are still doing this, will you pass it on to your daughter? To the second question, probably not, because we do share some interests and we share some stuff, but like my fandoms are not, I have not indoctrinated my daughter into my fandoms. So I don't think she would have any impetus to take up the mantle of this. As to the question of how close are we, because when I did the call for more patrons, I laid it out that if 10% of my subscriber base supported at a $2 level, this would be my living. How close are we to that? About between 30 and 40% of the way there, which honestly, that may sound like, oh, but like that was huge. That was like a really huge boost, and I'm still kind of bowled over by it. Favorite Doctor outfit? I mean, 4 is always kind of gonna be the most iconic. It's kind of hard to top that. I found a really obscure Doctor Who spinoff about K9. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. If I sent you a copy, would you review it? Eventually, probably. As an oddity, if nothing else. Have you seen Johnny English Returns? I haven't seen any of the Johnny English movies. What are your thoughts on the X-Men Evolution animated series? Have not seen that. Where's your 13th Doctor screwdriver? It's right here. It's right here with the rest. I think my head was blocking it. So it's right up there because I'm actually huge loser that I am. I've got these in chronological order, like 3rd Doctor, 4th Doctor, 8th War, 9 and 10, 11, 12, River Songs, screwdriver because 12 gave it to her, then 13s, and then then the laser screwdriver and my custom ones. So, any plans to go any cons this summer? Yes, I'm working on that. I'm trying to look at my options for cons because I actually, assuming that it doesn't drop back off, the support level I've got on Patreon right now, it has cleared the level that I said I was going to look into more cons. So I am looking into that. Timing is a big part of it because I have my daughter half the time. So any weekend that's a weekend that I have my daughter, it kind of takes it off the table because I don't think she'd have a great time. And it would kind of hamper my ability to like do the con properly. So I am looking at options. Heroes Con is kind of the big one that's floated to the top right now because the timing works out well, and that's far enough away that I wouldn't have gone to it without the Patreon support. But I'm still looking at options. I'm wondering if you have seen Young Justice animated series season 3. I haven't even seen season 1. That is one of many animated films on my, like, I should watch that, I'd probably like it list. 2 had a screwdriver, didn't it? Yes. 2nd Doctor did have a screwdriver, but it was basically just a pen light. So they've never made a reproduction of 2's sonic screwdriver because it would just be a pen light. So I suppose I should just get a pen light and put it up there, complete it. Have you cosplayed recently? I haven't done a proper cosplay since I did a burlesque show doing a 13th Doctor number. And the next time I'm going to be cosplaying properly will also be burlesque related because for the Vermont Burlesque Festival, I have a Fix It Felix number that I do. I have recently gotten a Spider-Gwen hoodie that's actually quite accurate. So, like, I'm debating sort of getting more pieces for that, or if because I've got a list of cosplay stuff that I would like to do at some point, and I'm still trying to figure out sort of what's next. Is the sword rack new, or has it always been there? That's always been there. It's just not in shot for the way that I frame the normal videos. But no, that's always been. Yeah, actually, you can see that in the background when I do the roundtable videos, like when I have Ryan and well, I was gonna say Ryan and Paul. Paul hasn't been on in ages, but when I have Ryan on, you can see that in the background. Is it too late for me to join? Never! How are we doing for time, by the way? About a half hour in? Cool. aiming to be about an hour, which is what I've tried to do most times. I think we're doing okay so far. So far. I can speak words. I have a pen light that looks like the second Dr. Sonic screwdriver. Yes! Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's what the original prop was. What are your thoughts on the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies? I need to see them. So, yeah. Have you watched Zygon When Being You Isn't Enough? That rings a vague bell in terms of, I think I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. Live stream of the Dalek, Council of the Daleks. Oh, it started again! We got about halfway through, so, boy. I suppose that's a decent run before the memes of the Daleks took over. Have you seen Del Toro's Troll Hunter? I have not. Do you think they'll ever remake the Harry Potter movies? I would kind of be surprised. It's one of those things where previously I might have said, you know, give it enough time. But the thing is, the franchise isn't being laid to rest. They're milking it for prequels with the Fantastic Beasts stuff. And sort of keeping it continually in the public eye like that, I think makes a reboot, certainly anytime soon, to be a bit less likely. Favorite Keanu Reeves movie that isn't The Matrix? Probably the first John Wick. Yeah, at a guess. Any opinion on the Crisis on Infinite Earths happening in the Arrowverse? I'm not current on the Arrowverse stuff, so I couldn't tell you. I had a strange dream about merged kittens. Do you have any interesting dreams you care to talk about? Not really. I don't usually remember details of my dreams. I come away with impressions and feelings and very little, like, true sense of it. It fades very quickly as soon as I wake up. I'm not much of a dream examiner. Love your sweater and scarf combo. Yeah, actually, my daughter's mother's made me this scarf. I've had this for ages. Do you think that Miles Morales should keep... the question got away from me. Backing up. Do you think Miles Morales should keep his suit from Spider-Verse in the sequel for Spider-Verse or go with the more comic-based suit? I really like the one they did for Spider-Verse. I kind of want him to just keep it. Like, that's one of the things I've gotten mixed feelings about with the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, is that they keep redesigning the suit all the time, which, I mean, I guess they did with Iron Man as well, but I don't have as big an inherent love of Iron Man that I do of Spider-Man, so I probably didn't notice or mind as much there. Will you review the John Wick 3 trailer that comes out on Thursday? Maybe. I'm not going to make a guarantee of it because, I mean, it depends on whether or not after watching the trailer I feel like whether or not it makes me have thoughts that I think will fill a video. Because I expect the trailer is just going to be, oh, that looks like another really good action movie. I want to see it. I'm not sure I'll get a video out of that, but I'll watch it, certainly. Are you going to do a video where you talk about what you want to see in Doctor Who Series 12? I'm not, because I try very hard not to have overly specific expectations, because that's just a setup for getting disappointed. Night Seeker, which animated Disney film would you want to have done as a live-action remake, if any? I don't like the live action, like, as a premise, period. It's not a matter of not liking the ones they've done. I hate the concept. So if you were going to make me choose one, I'd say The Black Cauldron, because it wasn't very good and they could do it better. But that's it, really. What's wrong with Patreon? I feel like I'm missing a conversation strand on that question. Like the fairies behind it. Yeah, my mother got me those. Do you watch The Orville? I've seen the first few episodes. I have not found the time to get caught up on it. Have you watched Flavors of Youth on Netflix? Have not even heard of that one. Have you played any of the Splinter Cell games? I haven't. I mean, I don't have a current system anyway, but I mean, Splinter Cell's been around for a while. I remember that being a thing on the original PlayStation, but no, I didn't. I never got into that one. I kind of had Metal Gear Solid, and I'm like, I'm good for the action stealth. I feel like I've got my fill. Steel Ball Zeppeli, The Resurrection of the Return of the Revenge of the Daleks Reloaded, Revelations. Oh, you guys, you're killing me. Are you going to be doing a review of The Good Place Season 3? Yes, once Season 3 ends, I do plan to do an overview review on that. Any more collabs coming up? Hopefully. Not dropping dates for any of that, because it's going to, you know, things have to line up. The grouchiness of Rassilon. Yeah, with how the return of Rassilon in Hellbent felt just like an ornery old man. That sounds about right. Is there a movie you would like to be remade? For me, it's Jumper. Not off the top of my head, but I mean, from what I know of Jumper, which I haven't seen, like, it sounds like the kind of thing I would recommend getting a remake, which is not a classic, but something that is like, oh, that was a pretty good idea. Somebody should take another go at that. And, I mean, that's my general opinion on the best kind of stuff to remake from an artistic standpoint, of course. Revolution of the Daleks. Now, okay, now that's a title that actually has potential. What do you think of the price hike of Netflix? Did not know, because I'm on a I'm on an auto renewal, so I didn't notice. I missed that news. Airbender, haven't seen it. I feel like I'm gonna have to keep fessing up to that every single live stream. Whenever you can get to Steven Universe, I think you'll like some of the gender and LGBTQ plus themes in it. I mean, there are more than a few shows that have been recommended for me for tackling that kind of stuff. Well, Steven Universe is one. And yeah, I would like to get to some of that stuff one of these days. You know you have a successful YouTube career when your channel has memes. Don't worry. Trigger warning, Hellbent. Yeah, it practically is. Do you sing? I used to. Like back in high school, I was in the chorus, and I was in sort of the select chorus my senior year. I am way out of practice, though. I haven't kept up, and like at this point, I will probably need to sit down with a voice coach to get any good again. I mean, part of what was discouraging for me is my vocal range. Like, just to put it in terms of being in plays and musicals and stuff, I'm a baritone, and baritones don't get good songs to sing. Like, it's all tenors. You know, all significant singing parts in musicals and whatnot, they're all like just out of my range, or if I can hit it, you can hear my voice straining. So, but yes, once upon a time, I did sing. And no, I'm not going to sing live right now. Do you believe Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be a Sith Lord? No. No, I don't. It's a very fun fan theory, but no, that's all that it is. Do you like musicals and theater? Well, yeah, absolutely I do. You're a baritone. Yes, I am. What are some of your favorite horror films? That one gets asked a lot. Favorite horror film at all is the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978 version. Some other ones I really like. The Descent is quite good. I consider Battle Royale to be a horror movie, personally. Do you think He-Man will ever appear on the new She-Ra? No, I don't. I don't think the makers are, like, intending to backdoor him through She-Ra. And also, I actually don't think they have the rights. I think the rights to He-Man are actually held by another company, because I know they've been trying to get a movie off the ground forever. I could be wrong about that, but that's I think so. That they're not actually held under the same production company. So I think they're allowed to allude to it, but actually can't have the stuff cross over directly. Oh, Tracy! Hey there! How you doing? And thank you kindly. Baritone is a nice tone, to be honest. I mean, like, I don't have a problem with the vocal range of my voice. I'm perfectly happy with it. Just, you know, as a performer and somebody who yearns for the spotlight, you know, never getting a decent singing part because they were all out of my vocal range. I'm not bitter. I'm a little bitter. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Did you ever finish Inside Number 9? No, I still haven't gotten back to it. Again, like so many things, like all the things. My list of things to see is all the things. Favorite movie or television plot twist? Oh, geez. I feel like I could get a video list out of that. And besides, like, I don't want to, like, say anything now in case anybody doesn't know. So, like, in case it's, like, from a movie that people haven't seen. I don't want to spoil stuff. But that's a neat idea. I might steal that one. Oh boy, that's now 2 people asking me about my opinion on the Gillette ad campaign. I would prefer not to give it, not because I don't have an opinion, but just because I feel like it's a landmine, and I would just as soon not step on it. Like, I have my feelings on it, and I just as soon just not dive into that. Sort of lumps in together with me not wanting to talk about fandoms anymore. Your favorite musical? A stage musical is Next to Normal, which I really want to be in. I want to play Dan in that so bad. Aliens of London, World War III versus Boomtown. I think Boomtown's a little better. Although the good parts of the 2-parter are better than anything in Boomtown, but I do think Boomtown overall is a little bit better. It's currently 12:40 a.m. in Ireland, by the way. Sorry for keeping you up. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you for joining. Sleep depriving yourself to spend time with me. You people have weird priorities. Let's see. Tracy, doing great. Always happy to catch a live stream. Always happy to have you here. If you could travel in time, would you travel to future or past? What would your first goal to accomplish be? Unless I could be positive on the outcome where, like, I could go back in time and, like, alter things and be 100% certain of how that was going to play out, I'd probably go future just to avoid screwing up everything. But it depends on how the mechanics of time travel would actually work in the real world. Oh, for God's sake. Sorry, I gotta not approve that comment that was auto-flagged, for goodness sake. So, and the other thing about, like, I've had a couple of comments come up that have gotten, like, shown up for me to review, and I can't even tell if people are messing with me or being sincere, but, like, I end up just clearing out most of them anyways. That's like half the comments that I end up having to clear out. I'm looking at them going, I have no idea if you're trolling or if you're serious, but the fact that I can't tell to me says just don't deal with it. Doctor Who musical episode. I honestly would be down for that. I know the musical episode thing feels like it's kind of had its day, but yeah, I would be down. Would you review the Kingdom Hearts series? The series as a whole, no, because I'd have to catch up. Now, the first 2, maybe, because I'm not going to get to play 3. I don't have current gaming gear, but I did like that first one. I loved the second one, but then the second one, it compensated for the fact that the plot started to get ridiculous with the fact that the gameplay was so much tighter. But the story was really, really pushing the edge of what I was willing to put up with, and it seems to have only gotten more convoluted since then. And I can feel like I can make that assumption just based off the titles of these friggin' things in that series. Sorry for the spam. I didn't even notice. Better comic book movie: The Avengers, Logan, or The Dark Knight? I suppose it kind of depends on whether you feel it is a better accomplishment to create something that is very true to the original, or to do something that keeps the spirit of the original, kind of does its own thing. Because by that measure, I would say Logan. To, like, feeling like a comic book come to life, I'd give it to the Avengers. So I suppose it depends on your own personal criteria. I'm a patron now. Awesome. Cool. When does the live stream end? Theoretically, in about 15 minutes. Best superhero movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I don't know if I agree, but I won't tell you you're wrong. That's a really good one. I gotta go. Got homework to do. Yes. Yeah, go educate yourself. Of the many things I am, educational, not one of them. How do you think the Marvel Cinematic Universe should end? I mean, eventually, I'm sure. I mean, it can't go on forever because movies are expensive. I mean, how cheap comic books are to make is why they're still around, because comic books don't actually make all that much money, but they're really cheap to produce. So, you know, they can, if they can power through the lulls, they stick around. When movies stop making money, that's a lot of money lost. So it will end eventually. Do I want it to? Not really. Will it? Yeah, at some point. I mean, could be wrong. Maybe with Disney's money behind it, maybe it will never end. Who knows? Favorite Joker portrayal? Mark Hamill. I mean, do I need to go on at that point? I've learned a lot from your LGBT videos. That's great to hear. Thank you. Have you watched any David Attenborough documentaries? I have not. Do you like The Empty Child or The Dr. Dances more? I don't know, because I don't separate the two in my mind. Like, I don't... So, like, there are some two-parters that I can firmly say this part was better than that part. But that's one where it just feels like it's seamless from one to the next. I feel the same about Silence in the Library and The Forest of the Dead. Whereas some others, I do feel there's a more clear drop-off from one to the next. I feel that about... Pandora Opens and The Big Bang. I feel that about, even though I really like both halves, I do feel there is a definite distinction between World Enough of Time and The Doctor Falls, but I don't feel that with Empty Child, Dr. Dances. Night Seeker, which did you think was better, Rocky Horror Picture Show or Repo the Genetic Opera? I do like both of them. Like, legitimately. They get compared a lot because they're both weird and kind of culty, musicals. I don't think they should be compared. They're doing incredibly different things with very different styles of music and different aesthetics and pulling from different influences. I will always personally like Rocky Horror more because I have a lot of nostalgia and sort of personal growth wrapped up in that movie, whereas, you know, I was in my 20s when Repo came out, and so that I was just able to go, oh, I really like this, but it didn't connect with me the way Rocky Horror did, because it couldn't, because I wasn't in the same kind of malleable state that I was when I saw the thing. But they're both really good. I do need to talk about Repo one of these days. It's on the to-do list. Have you watched Grimm or Lost Girl? I did about a half season of Grimm. It was pretty good, but ultimately I ended up feeling like, you know, this is a new show trying to be Buffy and doing okay at it. But at the time, I was like, I kind of want to watch something that I feel like I haven't already seen an equivalent of before. And so I just kind of dropped off it. Batman the Musical. Have you seen Mary Poppins Returns yet? I haven't. I don't know when I'm going to get to see that. Because my daughter hasn't seen the original Mary Poppins, so she wasn't chomping at the bit to see the new one. So I'm probably going to miss it in the theater. Could you review Bohemian Rhapsody, the song? No, I have no business critiquing music. Like, I just don't. I do not know enough about music composition or any of it to say anything beyond, I kind of like this one. Like, I got away with it, I think, with the movie soundtracks because it is connected to something that I know better, which is movies. Favorite Looney Tunes short? Actually, I cannot remember the name of it. But I think my favorite Looney Tunes short of all time, there was one where it's not recurring Looney Tunes characters. It's a Chuck Jones one, I'm pretty sure. It's just a man and a woman. It's just a husband and a wife, and the husband comes home, and from work, and this is like from the 50s. So obviously the woman's she's a housewife, and he's like, "What do you have to be tired about?" And she goes through his day, goes through her day for him. I really love that one because there's all this ridiculous stuff she has to deal with. Like getting in line at the bank and getting stuck behind somebody depositing $100 in pennies and all this stuff, and then it ends with her beating him over the head with a rolling pin. I gotta look up the name of that because I really do. I like Looney Tunes in general, but I love that short. How do you feel about Into the Spider-Verse getting TV spinoffs? If they can keep the visual aesthetic on a TV budget, please. Yes, like now. Have you seen Psych? I have not. Liz has seen a little bit of it, but I haven't as yet. It's rabbit season. Robert McKay. Oh, I guess other people are giving their favorite Looney Tunes. Would you review any of the Star Trek series? There's no series of Star Trek that I've seen the entire run of. Which means that, that's an entire series of Star Trek that I would have to catch up on to really talk about it as a whole. I mean, I know Next Generation better than I know anything else. I'll probably someday rank the Star Trek movies because I've seen all those. But as far as the series go, I might... I think, if nothing else, someday I'll probably talk about the Star Trek Next Generation series finale because I really love it, and I think it's one of the better series finales that I've ever seen. So, that I might talk about at some point. Do you think Goose the Cat will defeat Thanos? Well, honestly, I think it's going to be Tippy Toe. Do you have a GSA? Did you have a GSA at your school as a kid? I'm not sure what that is. Can we see the hair before the live stream ends? What have we got left? About 8 minutes? Yeah, sure. Hang on. I've also got it tied back, so give me a second. Ugh. Oh. There we go. It's probably a mess because it's been tied back and under the hat all day, so it probably looks like utter hell, but there that is. Let's see. Guess we'll have to agree to disagree. See, some of these I'm not sure if they're directed at me or at other folks. I've learned a lot watching your Vera Wild channels plus the LGBTQ plus videos. Thank you, Sammy. I'm glad that those continue to go over well, because obviously it's stuff I care about a lot. So I appreciate it. Oh, GSA is Gay Straight Alliance. I don't think there was anything like that in my high school. They had one at the college I went to, but I didn't know what I was, and at the point that I was in college, the concepts of, genderqueer, gender fluid, non-binary, all of that, it wasn't really kind of firmed up yet. It wasn't something that people really talked about. So with something like the Gay Straight Alliance, it wasn't something that I felt like described me. So I've always kind of wanted to, be a part of that community, and I am a part of that community, but certainly at that young age, seeing that it was geared towards people who just pretty much identified as, gay or bisexual or sometimes trans, depending on the organization, and I didn't identify as any of those. I didn't really get involved when I was younger. Another question about the Far From Home trailer. Review will be out Thursday. That's what you get. Have you watched One Punch Man? I watched the first episode. I don't know if I'll get back to any more of it. And it's not because I didn't like it. It was fine. But there's a lot of things I've seen you know, the first 2 episodes of. Do you think the Doctor? Why do you think the Doctors keep exploding when they regenerate? Well, I mean, I don't know why. If you're asking for a narrative justification, I could probably invent one, but like I don't like it. I don't like how destructive the regenerations have been lately, and largely even when the regeneration itself hasn't blown stuff up, the TARDIS has immediately crashed right after, which I hate. I think it's dumb and lazy and completely unnecessary. Have you seen My Hero Academia? I have not. I have a lot of friends who watch it. Co-hosted a burlesque show, and my co-host was cosplaying as a character from it. I have not seen it though. But there is a picture of me dressed as Black Canary, punching him across the face, dressed as, I have no idea who the character is from My Hero Academia. That's up on the Vera Wild Instagram if anyone wants to find that. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, at this point, I need to assume that you, sir, and you know who you are because your messages are not appearing, are just trying to mess with me. Either that or you really don't understand me and what I'm about at all. Stu Bagful, did you justice in stick form? Yes, yes. I think he really captured my essence. Will you ever do your top Studio Ghibli films? Yes, I need to see The Castle of Cagliostro, because I haven't yet. Once I see that, I can rank Miyazaki's movies specifically, I'll be in a position to do that. Ranking Studio Ghibli as an entire studio going beyond Miyazaki, I'm a ways off from being able to do that. But I will be able to rank Miyazaki's movies in the not-so-distant future, hopefully. What are we doing for time? About 3 minutes left. Is it just you on Council of Geeks? Basically, yes. Short answer, yes. Have you watched Lost? I saw the first season of Lost. Loved it. But heard such mixed things and like fan debates about everything after that. And a big part of what I loved about the first season of Lost was not quite knowing what was going on. I actually was like, you know what? I'm happy just with that and like not knowing. I'm good. Favorite Marvel and DC superhero? Well, Marvel, it's Spider-Man. And DC, it's probably Batgirl for DC. Or Barbara Gordon. Your hairstyle fantastically. Yeah, I need to get the color refreshed because this is getting pretty faded. So I need to figure out if I'm gonna do different colors when I refresh it. Figuring that out still. The flight theme in Man of Steel is breathtaking. I don't remember the soundtrack from Man of Steel very well. I mean, because I think Superman music, I think the John Williams Superman theme, and I probably always will. What's the difference between Studio Ghibli and Miyazaki? Well, Miyazaki is a specific director. Studio Ghibli is the studio. So it's like, you know, it's like saying, it's the difference between a Disney movie and a movie actually directed by Walt Disney, the man. So that's sort of that distinction. Favorite Batman portrayal? It's probably still the animated series, Kevin Conroy. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that. Did you hear about Space Command? Nope, I did not. As long as you show off your refreshed hair in a video. Oh, once I get fresh color in this, yeah, I'm going to take the very first opportunity to show it off. And besides which, you know, if I keep the schedule of this being weekly, I'll probably show it off on the live stream too. About a minute left to go. How are we going to wrap up? Have you seen Steven Universe? I haven't. Someday I will. Favorite story in a video game? Ooh. Like, probably still Final Fantasy VI. My favorite emotional journey in a video game was Journey, though. Those are right up there. Favorite 13th Doctor line? Whew. I had, off the top of my head, I'm just drawing a blank, and I know someone's going to throw that back at me and goes, because she didn't have any good lines, which is not true, but I'm suddenly drawing a blank. I am a man! Yeah, memes. Gotta love them. All right, that's been about an hour, so I think we will we'll wrap it up there. So, thanks everybody. I know I didn't get to every question. I do my best, but this is now 2 weeks running. I've kept it up, so hopefully I'll be back here again next week on Tuesday. Next week's will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. And so feel free to come back, ask questions again. I'll try to get to it. I'll do my best. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you for your support, for all of it, because this continues to be an awesome thing that I get to do, and with a growing amount of support for it. And like I said, I'm still a ways off from being able to have this be what pays my bills, but it has already grown to much more than I ever thought it was going to be. And thanks everybody for tagging along with me for however far this goes. So, hope you all have a good rest of your week. If you've got weekend plans, hope they go well. And you're about to get my fingers in your face because